Welcome to the TIMFD podcast. Today is my favorite day is about appreciating every day as it comes, no matter what life throws at us. We hope this podcast speaks to you, and if it does, please like, share, and comment. Now let's find out why today is our favorite day this week.
Well, welcome back to Today is My Favorite Today.
Hello.
I am Sam McKeown. I'm here with David Towner and Dr. Kathleen Magdalene. Dr. Kathy. We're here with Dr. Kathy. And Dr. Kathy, we
He's having a hard time with that name.
We have a question for you.
Okay.
How does your eating habits help or hurt your health?
Wow, Sam, that is a really good question.
I think it's real broad, actually.
It is absolutely huge, but it is so important and so vital. I believe that our food, we look at our food these days and we look at it as what makes us feel good. Mm-hmm. And we eat things based upon how we feel. Yep. And we forget the purpose of what our food is actually supposed to be, to help our bodies with our own functioning, our nutrition.
And our immune system.
Our immune system, everything. So all of our diseases and different problems that people are having, health issues, can be traced back to their nutritional needs
now, it's
and
funny,
not meeting those needs.
What's funny, you said something. There were two things that has got you on who you are right now and what you're doing. What are those two things? Because then we could really start asking questions. Two things.
Yeah. Okay. So, as you know, I have a very wide range of degrees.
And we'll get onto all that too.
History and a whole bunch of stuff. But, I feel really, I was diagnosed years ago with depression and anxiety and different types of bipolar diseases and everything. And at one point, I remember being on 7 different medications.
Wow.
And I still felt like crap.
Yeah.
I still felt horrible.
Oh, yes.
It was the worst thing. And it wasn't until 2 things in my life changed. Number 1 was finding God again.
Yeah.
Coming back to
with
God.
Jesus, awesome.
I had lost my way, a lot of history, things that I allowed in the past. So I found God, and I also really discovered nutrition and food.
Yeah.
And that's how things changed.
And what's interesting, your doctorate, you're a Ph.D. in chemistry,
Chemistry.
Analytical chemistry.
Analytical chemistry,
Which I have no idea what that is.
What is analytical chemistry? So we can even get into that so people know.
The short version.
The short version.
Yeah.
Okay, so analytical chemistry is basically being able to take, what I loved about it was you could take any substance and figure out exactly what it was. It's utilizing tools to figure out what molecularly is contained in a substance.
Wow, and then you taught for some years.
I did.
Yeah,
was it with USF, I think it was?
Yes.
Okay, and it was like, was it 15, 17?
17 years.
17 years,
So
okay. So 17 years. So we got somebody here who knows what they're talking about. Yep. So here's something that, for me, I met Kathy, and we'll kind of talk about how we both met her. I met her at Westchase Chiropractic.
Me too.
And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because she has a heart for Jesus. I'm telling you right now, absolutely. She does. Mm-hmm. Because when we lost our child, and I was over at the chiropractic office, her, Michelle, Dr. Sosa, you guys prayed over me right there, and I cried hard. And they were there for me. Right. And then we got into a discussion about mental health and that kind of thing, because my daughter, who was the one that passed away, struggled with that. And we'll get to that in just a little bit, but how did you meet her?
Well, I met her the same way through Westchase Chiropractic. And this is a plug for Westchase Chiropractic, by the way. It just is.
You live in the Tampa area. It's an amazing place. And you don't know, because I was a patient there. So you may start off as a patient, and then you may end up working there too. So you never know.
That's true.
But the one thing about my journey there is we started about the time Dr. Sly started. That's when we started. We had been to other chiropractors. Yeah. And well, first off, you walk into the office, 9 days out of 10, you have faith-based music playing.
Yes.
And so it puts you in the right mood, the proper mood, and stuff like that. But then recently,
just in the last month and a half or something.
Last month and a half or so, I had some health struggles in 2022. The list of medications I'm on is longer. They take too much of the podcast to talk about. And I was struggling. And I got some blood work back that the doctors couldn't really explain why, and all they were going to do was throw another pill at me. Okay. Right? Actually, 2. And so I had been talking off and on to Kathy about nutrition and things like that, and kind of just ignored her, I mean, I did. I'm just being honest, right?
A little hard-headed.
Yeah, a little bit. And so I didn't have any answers. So I brought the blood work in. Remember?
Yep, I remember.
And here's the thing that I really like about Kathy and most of the people over there. She subscribes to the theory, if I don't know, I know a guy who does, and I will find out.
Sure.
And that's what she did with my blood work. It took a little bit of time, which was fine. But now, number one, did not have enough protein in my diet, right? She gives me she has me do this app, right? And to track your food. Yep. And I'm like, of course would you put chips on it if you were told to track your food? Yeah, probably so.
You need to.
Anyway,
it's important.
So
they have to know.
And
absolutely.
Then from there we started with a bit of a program. I hate to tell you today, but I'm about 500 calories over my limit today. But I'll show you why.
But
yeah. Go ahead.
And it's okay. So and that's the other thing that I want people to know too. So, when I start working with people in terms of helping them improve their nutrition, and I will tell you, one of my goals is to help people get off of those prescription drugs because people don't realize those prescription drugs are causing more issues. Yeah. And most of the time, those drugs, I mean, there's a time and a place for Western medicine, absolutely 100%.
Absolutely.
But it's things that if it was meant to make you feel better, you wouldn't have to keep. If it was meant to fix you, you wouldn't have to keep taking it for the rest of your life.
That's the key. If it was meant to fix you, right?
Right, exactly. And so it's like you take this one medication to solve this one symptom, and then all of a sudden you start developing some new symptoms. Right. So then you take another medication to take care of those symptoms, and then you go down this rabbit hole, and it's so hard for people to see the light and to see that there's any hope. I think that's one of the things that I would say, if not anything that I want to do, if there's one thing that I leave people with, I want to leave them with hope.
And that's huge.
Yeah. Yes.
People lose hope.
Yeah, they do.
And so that is priority number one, is making yourself a food log. People say, I eat healthy, but until you actually track it every day, and I told Sam he needed to track it for a minimum of 3 days, but I really wanted to see a week, and then give it to me so I can look and see, what are you eating, when are you eating, and really help you realize small changes.
Right.
So when you said you fell off and you're 500 calories over, it's okay.
Well, I had two protein shakes today, and
500 calories over, but from protein
shakes.
That's going to be okay. We need more protein in our bodies. That's a huge thing. And give yourself grace.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. No one is perfect, and so to sit here and try, you need to do something that's going to be sustainable for you in the future. Wanting to make those life changes, and then actually making small changes that you can do.
And what you brought up biblically, Jesus gives us grace. We should be giving grace to other people.
Absolutely.
And we need to give grace to ourselves.
Yes.
And so what you just said, I think a lot of people need to hear is that, okay, I'm not going to be perfect. It's not perfection. It's a progression, right?
Yes.
And so the progression, we talk about that in Celebrate Recovery here. It's a progression, not perfection.
Right.
And if we can stay on that progression, keep moving forward, then we're going to be in a good place. And if we have accountability, so what you're doing is basically nutritional discipleship. That's kind of,
it is.
On a biblical side, that's exactly what you're doing. You're being the mentor to the mentee and helping them do that.
That's what I feel called to do.
Awesome.
That's I taught for a very long time, and I loved teaching the politics.
Chemistry.
Yes, teaching chemistry. I know, and I still tutor. Like I'm actually tomorrow I have somebody that I'm tutoring. So I tutor in chemistry on a regular basis. I still keep in with the the discipline itself. But I feel that I'm better served being able to help people in this way.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. The thing is you mentioned accountability. In business, accountability is everything. I mean, it's huge. So, I've talked to her about my health. I've talked to her about my nutrition. I go to a chiropractor twice a week. I see her twice a week. So,
holding him accountable.
There's accountability there, and if you can stay that way and stay with somebody, then you can progress. And now you have some other areas that you're dealing with. There are some nutritional products and stuff like that you represent. And then so could you tell us a little bit?
You were just on a cruise for that kind of stuff, right?
I was, yes.
Yeah. Okay, I saw that on social media.
The one thing that I have realized is like I said before, I taught chemistry and I loved it. Yeah. But at that time, and I didn't realize it at the time, God was telling me I needed to be somewhere else. But I refused to listen.
No.
It was about 10 years probably that I was fighting against God's will.
Yeah.
And then he was trying to draw me back to him. And then finally I figured out, okay, this is where I need to be. So I'm a founder in a company called 3.
Wow.
And we have these amazing products that use different, I'm trying to explain this in a layman's terms here. Okay.
Yep.
So we have different technologies that we use to help the absorption. One thing that people don't realize when they take supplements is a majority of what they're taking, their body is not absorbing.
Right.
And I'll tell you, this is how good God is. Because I'm going to tell you, when I first started working on my Ph.D., the first thing that I did, the first research project that I did was looking at selenium supplements.
Okay.
That were sold over the counter, and I analyzed them.
Did you really?
To see how much selenium was actually in those.
And how much was in?
And how much was there?
And there was not what they claimed to be in there.
Shocker.
Yeah.
And so, it's like coming back to where I started with supplements and wanting to help people with their health. I looked at selenium because selenium is important for people that have cancer.
Yes.
They have realized that a lack of selenium in your diet also increases your risk of cancer.
Oh, wow.
So that's why I looked at selenium.
Well, I'll be talking to you after this then with three. No, because I have an absorption issue. After all my cancer surgeries and the intestines, I lost 24 inches of my intestines, part of my large intestine, part of my small intestine. The absorption rate, I was told it was going to be nil. It was going to be small. It was flying right. Everything's flying right through me. As a matter of fact, I have these little strands in my fingers. And I've never talked to you guys about nutrition, really. I've only just talked to you about the chiropractic side of things.
That's what our office focuses on. Our office focuses on chiropractic, and then the nutrition stuff is, I do that.
So I'll talk to you about that because I do need, and my wife's concerned that I'm not getting the nutrition from my foods and the supplements that I'm taking. And so that's it. That's good. Hey, there we go.
There you go. There you go.
So one of the things that drew me with this company, one of the technologies that we use is called a liposome.
Okay.
Easiest way I can explain that, it's like a fat bubble. So most of the nutrients are so large that they don't get absorbed into our bodies.
Okay.
So what we do is we put that nutrient in a fat bubble so it actually gets absorbed in our skin. Now, I'm sorry, not our skin, our cells. Actually gets absorbed into our cells. Ironically, that is the same technology, that liposome technology that they used for cancer. To deliver drugs for cancer treatments. And it wasn't available. And then a few years ago, the patent ran out and it was available. And so the founder went, and now we have patented liposomal products.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. I'm excited about that because I need to get absorption. I need to be able to absorb these nutrition in me because the body, can only last so long without having absorption of this stuff in you. And I try to keep myself in decent shape, so I'm just trying to kind of work on that.
That's right. Our bodies are vessels.
Yes.
I mean, God gave us this body as a vessel, and
we're responsible for it.
We're responsible for treating that vessel with integrity and how we're supposed to.
It's the place of the Holy Spirit, right? Holy Spirit living in us.
Yeah.
And so you are a Ph.D. And what's the chemistry?
Analytical chemistry.
Analytical chemistry. You are in a business called 3.
Yes.
You're with the founder and all that kind of stuff.
So I earn basically part of the global revenue.
Awesome.
I'm able to.
So there's 3.
Yep.
And then you're also doing nutritional stuff outside that, right?
Yes.
And that's kind of what you're doing with him.
I've started. I haven't. I need a website developer.
Yeah.
I have to help someone to.
I have a perfect person for you.
You have somebody for me because I have the name, I have my logo, I have everything. I just haven't gotten off the ground with it yet. But next level proactive wellness.
Right.
Oh wow,
Okay.
I like that.
I like that.
Tell us what that would be.
So that would essentially be doing what I've been doing with Sam. So an initial consult for people to see where they're at, and then putting them on a program. And some people may not need supplements.
Right.
They may be able to make those changes with their diet.
Right.
A supplement is exactly what it means.
It's for someone like me.
It is for lack of nutritional needs, but if you're able to do it with your food, which sometimes that's really hard to do, it is. Hard. So, but you also have to take good quality supplements so you're not wasting your money.
Right, and that's what I'm kind of wondering what's going on with us. So I'll probably get Tanya and I with you just to talk about, because she's a supplement person.
Yeah.
And meaning she likes taking them, but I'm not absorbing as I should. And so I know that. Okay, so beyond that, go on.
You've dealt with people who don't like to take supplements, right?
I have,
You live with one.
Yeah, I live with one, yes, I know. And ironically enough, okay, so this is God's timing right here.
Let's go.
Because I have a good friend of mine who's a holistic doctor, and I took my significant other to him the other day. He made an appointment, and lo and behold, he gives him a list. You need this, this, and this. So now I finally got him taking this, and this.
Which you had already told him he needed to take.
Which I'd already told him he needed to take.
An outside voice.
So sometimes, the people that are closest to you, sometimes it's really difficult for them, but they need that extra little voice.
Yeah.
So it's all good. He's going to get his blood work done again in 3 months, and we're going to see where he's at. So I'm super excited about that.
What I think is really fun, too, is that you're, obviously, if you're an analytical chemist, I guess chemistry, you're pretty analytical, meaning you kind of look at things in an analytical way. But you lead in worship, right, at Core Church, right?
Yes, I do.
And so tell me how someone like your mindset would be able to do something like that, because that's interesting to me. So just tell me how you got involved with that. And then how does that help you? Just in your daily life, the whole idea of worshiping God and all that kind of stuff.
So I have always loved to sing. And my mom is an amazing singer. She's got a voice. I mean, my voice doesn't compare to hers at all. And she sung in the choir when I was growing up, and she sung in the choir for years until just a few years ago. So I was looking for another church not that long. Actually, I think it was right around Christmas time. And I had some friends, and I had one of the pastors. He comes to Westchase Chiropractic as well.
There we go.
It's all about Westchase Chiropractic here. Leads to good things. And I had spoken with him about my son. I'm having, my son's dealing with some things, and so.
How old? A teenager?
He's 18. He'll be 19 this year. And I think one of the hardest things as a mom, realizing that this is his journey, and God is guiding it, and all I am here is to support and to pray over him, and I do it all the time. So I went to their service, and I mentioned something to a couple of people that I knew there, and they handed me, inner ears and said, "Hey, you're on the worship team."
No way! Oh my gosh, it's a little different from here.
And I looked at them and I said, "Wait a second. You don't even know if I can sing.
Right.
You don't even know if I can carry a tune." But I have. I do. I love to sing, and that is what brings me joy.
Yeah,
so
there we go. And so an analytical person who loves to sing. So you have that art side of you also.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I
and
do.
So here you are. You're in this world. You're in the nutritional world. You're in a business setting. You're working with Westchase Chiropractic, which you're a huge asset for that company, gigantic asset for that company, and they know it. Yeah, they do. The sources know that.
You know what I love about working there? I think more than anything else. So we start every day with prayer.
There we go.
That was the first out of all. I've had lots of different jobs in my lifetime. That is the first business and company that I've ever worked at where that is how we start our day.
I love it.
Yeah.
We lead with prayer before we go and interact with anybody.
Perfect.
That's
That's what has absolutely helped to continue my journey and my path with God.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. Well, and so for you, that you have all this going on, so you're busy.
A little bit.
A tad busy. So I want to kind of go, if you don't mind, go back into to where my daughter was. So after she passed away, we talked about her mental health issues, which was depression, which was bipolarism, schizophrenia, which was really wild for her. I mean, there were times where she just started talking to people, and I'm going, "What's going on?" Yeah. But she was really wanting to get herself in a place with nutrition. Yeah. She started looking into that. Problem is, there's some, like you said, you need that that discipler, if you will, that will help that person go, okay, what do you eat every day? What do you take in your body? What do you ingest every day? Because if you take other stuff that is contradictory to what you're trying to put in your body because you think you could help. She was self-medicating with different drugs, trying to, right? You understand that.
At one point, I was probably drinking almost a bottle of wine a day.
There we go. And there's a lot of people like that.
Just
that are self-medicating.
Get through it.
Yes, trying to get through. And she was trying to get through. But your job now, your calling is basically let's look at what's actually going in you.
Yeah.
Tell me everything. And then let's try to figure out what we could do to get you so that we don't have this happening, with your eating, with whatever you're taking in your body. let's get this in a good place. That's kind of what you're wanting to do, correct?
Absolutely.
And then seeing hopefully the joy. Not everyone's going to do what you want them to do. It's kind of like a pastor. You're not going to get everybody. It's not how it works. It's each individual has their responsibility.
Yep.
But you can at least give them something, and those that do and they succeed, boy, what a joy! I'm sure that is going to.
Oh, it's been amazing. I'll give you another little story here too.
Please.
With my mom. So my parents came. My son graduated from high school last year.
Awesome.
And my parents came for the graduation, and it was held at this one huge Tropicana field. It's like a huge stadium, basically. And my mom lost her footing and was, had difficulty walking. And I noticed, my mom's 74 this year. Okay. And I noticed that she wasn't her normal self. And I told her, I said, all right, Mom, here, I want you to take this here. You're on these vitamins, and I need you to take this other product for inflammation. And I want you to take both of these.
Got it.
My mom, within 3 days, started feeling so much better. Again,
Really?
it's the nutrients that her body needed that her body was not getting, and it's in a form that's absorbable, so her body's getting it.
Wow.
So let's fast forward now to her, 6 months down the road. My mom tells me, she's like, honey, I can't thank you enough. I feel like I'm in my 50s again.
Yep. Cool.
And then my dad, who had heart surgery, he had a triple bypass in December. And I cleared, one of the things with supplements, you have to be very careful.
You have to clear it. Yeah, you need to check it
So
out.
I made sure, especially with his cardiologist, I gave him all the information. I have him on 3 of the products. But he had his checkup with his cardiologist his improvement. And, I'm going to attribute most of it. This is God. He had so many people praying for him.
Yeah.
But his improvement has been phenomenal. The doctors are shocked with how good he's doing. And I'm telling you, it is because he's getting the nutrition that his body needs.
Wow.
For his body to function the way God made us function.
Exactly. And I think there's a lot of people, I wish my daughter, we could have met you before all this stuff took place, but because I think she would have been really attracted to you as far as your background and your educational background and the whole idea of we could use nutrition to do this right.
Yeah.
Because and so I believe there's a lot of people out there right now who are looking for that, I'm struggling, I'm feeling depressed, I don't know why my moods go up and down, I don't understand, and you have the opportunity to work with whoever they're seeing, but you, like you said, with your dad, you worked with the doctor, but you can help them get into a better place. What a wonderful opportunity you have. And then you're in the future here, which is awesome. Yeah. So if anybody's interested in what you do, which I'm sure there's going to be, honestly,
there will be. We'll put your information, your contact information in the.
You okay with that?
I'm okay with that. Absolutely.
In the show notes and links and a link to that to get a hold of Kathleen. And we've only scratched the surface, so we might want to invite you back for another time if you're.
I would love it. I would love
all right.
it.
Awesome. So, folks, this has been Today's My Favorite Day with Kathy. She says, call her Kathy. Not
it's Dr. Kathy. I'm on there.
Right. Just
my mom did not name me doctor. My mom named me
Kathy. I get it.
And this is Sam McKeown along with David Towner. You guys live intentionally, be blessed. See you next time.
God bless you guys.
Thank you guys.
Thank you for listening to TIMFD. Today is my favorite day. Views, comments, and opinions are those of the host and guest alone, and Dave and Sam are solely responsible for the content of this podcast. TIMFD is produced and directed by Alex Korn. Music is composed and performed by Chuck Falk. Thank you for listening. Have a great day, live intentionally, and be very blessed.